quite a bit of bitterness coming from Team USA's coach Cheryl Reeves when she was asked pretty much any questions about Caitlin Clark. And she was asked if there was any second guessing from her on Caitlin Clark not making the team, and she very just spitefully says no. Doesn't elaborate on it, just says no.
For me?
Yeah.
No.
And it's funny to me how even she coached this game, because if you didn't think Caitlin Clark was the caliber of player that she is, then why would you feel the need to face guard her, to trap her, to...
What happens when a championship coach morphs into a clipboard-wielding flamethrower? Pure chaos, high-grade drama, and enough side-eye to fill an arena. Cheryl Reeve just unleashed a savage tirade aimed squarely at every coach and the entire Indiana Fever roster over the All-Star voting. Let's just say she didn't show up to play nice. If you thought WNBA politics were tame, think again. Reeve came armed with receipts, righteous fury, and a serious vendetta. You've never witnessed a meltdown this gloriously petty. Buckle up.
Watching the All-Star selection, I ain't never seen nothing like this before. Caitlin Clark is a menace, man. She literally kicked Cheryl Reeves off the team. That's my team. I don't yo, son. Cheryl Reeves, you asked for it. You asked for it. So now Sandy Brondello will be coaching Caitlin Clark's team, and Cheryl Reeves is going to be coaching the Fisa Collier's team. This is insane right here. And it's like, yo, Cheryl Reeves, I get it. You have the best record in the WNBA so far. You want as many plays.
Cheryl Reeve could be out here distributing gold bars and curing the common cold, and there'd still be a crowd ready to wave her off with a polite, nah, we're all set. Because no matter how valid her point might be, there's just something about that old-school WNBA aura. It's like showing up to a streaming showdown with a dusty VHS tape. It's giving major rotary phone energy in a world obsessed with smartphones.
Bruh, tell me y'all just saw Caitlin Clark destroy Cheryl Reeves on national TV. I know y'all saw free smoke, ayy, free smoke, ayy, free smoke, ayy, free smoke. Bruh, Caitlin Clark want all the smoke. Bruh, she just annihilated Cheryl Reeve on national television.
And now she's storming around about all-star votes, like she just uncovered the shocking news that democracy isn't perfect. Welcome to planet Earth, Cheryl. Here's the deal. When one of the league's old guards starts pontificating, it's tough to take it at face value, especially when the sermon sounds less like genuine advocacy and more like a salty Yelp rant from a coach who just watched her squad get outplayed, outclassed, and overshadowed by a franchise that, for once, has the world's attention.
Reeves, man, she came out stating how not only herself, but her players were kind of upset about the coaches' votes for the reserves, for the All-Star. Now, the crazy thing about it is, she's going to be coaching Caitlin Clark's team. So, I don't know how that's going to work with her coming out and saying what she said. I mean...
Oh yes, we're absolutely talking about them. The Indiana Fever. Very team boasting 3 All-Stars. The same squad that breezed through the Commissioner's Cup like they were prepping for a Broadway debut at Madison Square Garden. And now, out of nowhere, Cheryl's emotional dial is cranked all the way up to perpetual rage tweet.
The WNBA All-Star Draft was fun between Caitlin Clark and Nafisa Collier, the team captains, picking the players, picking the rosters. But the most interesting aspect was the coach swap, because Clark traded Cheryl Reeve, who was the coach of her team, or was to be the coach of her team, to Collier for Sandy Brondello, the coach of the New York Liberty. Of course, Reeve is Collier's head coach for the Minnesota Lynx, so that makes sense. But the drama is going to come from Reeve having previously been critical on social media about the amount of attention Clark received relative to the rest.
There's something oddly ironic about complaining over media hype while handing the media even more fuel by sounding off in public. It's like dumping water on a grease fire, then acting surprised when it explodes. Truth is, Cheryl's not fired up over fairness. She's upset because the spotlight used to land squarely on her system, her rules, her players. Now it's shifted, and she doesn't like to glare. Call it what it is. Classic all-star envy. Nothing stirs up WNBA drama quite like seeing another team snag 3 all-star spots while yours gets a pat on the back for effort. Suddenly, it's not about basketball. It's about algorithms, fairness, the integrity of the game. Whatever that means today. When her players miss out, it's a flawed system. When her team wins, well, then the system's perfectly fine. Convenient. The toughest pill? Watching her team get thoroughly handled by that same Indiana Fever squad in a Commissioner's Cup game that actually mattered. It wasn't some last-second miracle. It was a clear-cut beatdown. That's where the salt really formed a mountain. Because in the end, it's not the all-star votes that hurt most. It's the scoreboard.
They're there. There's nothing no crying and whining is going to do about it. The same way you didn't give two shits about Caitlin Clark's fan base and all that. Don't nobody give two shits about your crying. You know what I'm saying? That you're coaching Caitlin Clark team. I don't understand why you had to make it a big deal and say, oh, well, this team's below us to have more plays and us, and it's disappointing. And like, what are you talking about? Like, you already kept her off the Olympics. Now you're going to complain about her having more teammates than your players on the court. This team.
That loss wasn't just a bruise. It was a public gut punch. Now Cheryl's spinning out like someone who found out the neighbor's kid got into Harvard while hers is still mastering TikTok dances. It's petty, it's fun to watch, and it's classic Reeve, insisting she's fine while ranting about an all-star vote that supposedly doesn't matter. Meanwhile, the WNBA is thriving. Ratings are up, merch is flying, and the Fever turned from meme to movement. But instead of rolling with it, Cheryl's out here yelling about balance and respect, as if the league's suddenly been taken over by 22-year-olds with Instagram deals. Newsflash, it has. And it's working. This isn't about logic. It's about momentum. That all-star roster got there because of hype and fans who showed up. You can't coach around that. Cheryl's trying to play chess while everyone else is live streaming, and every time she makes a move, they just flip it back on her.
Clark, hey, Caitlin, are there any player trades you like to make? Nah, I'm kind of set with my team, but I would like to trade coaches. I like it. I don't know what's gotten into Caitlin Clark. You are leaning into this bad guy role. I love it. I don't know what's gotten into you, Caitlin Clark, but you've been on some I don't give a F lately.
Let's be honest. If Cheryl's team had 3 all-stars, we'd see confetti, parades, and smug posts about culture. But since her players got skipped, it's suddenly a crisis of ethics. Please, the only emergency is trying to look gracious while stewing over someone else's spotlight. It's funny how teamwork and merit turns into the system's rigged the moment the votes don't go your way. The league's finally booming, grabbing real attention. But if it doesn't flatter the old guard, out come the complaints. Cheryl's not pushing for fairness. She's struggling with fading relevance, and everyone knows it. This outrage? It's just the sound of someone watching the game evolve and picking tantrum over adaptation. Because when your legacy is built on being the smartest in the room, nothing cuts deeper than realizing the room moved on. The Fever are rising. Cheryl's stuck in her own snowstorm. Watching her unravel over a halftime list feels like watching someone argue with a touchscreen.
Of Team USA that Caitlin Clark was so famously snubbed from. Of course, Reeve wasn't a part of the official committee, but, some may believe she had some say in how all that went down. Regardless, the picking between the players was a lot of fun, and Caitlin Clark also wound up with all of the Fever members on her squad as well, meaning Aaliyah Boston, Clark, and Kelsey Mitchell will be a trio in Indy.
The WNBA is having a moment, and some people would rather see it stall than celebrate the players pushing it forward. This isn't just sour grapes, it's a whole vineyard, and deep down Cheryl knows it. Admitting it means accepting that the game has moved on. Winning isn't enough anymore. Charisma, visibility, relevance, that's what matters now. If your brand can't keep up, no amount of shouting will change it. The Fever earned this spotlight. They became the center of the conversation. Meanwhile, Cheryl turned into the side character yelling from the stands. It's not a good look. It's giving 2007 wants its playbook back. Sure, maybe she's right on a few points, but no one wants to hear the runner-up explain why the winner isn't that special. That's not analysis, it's ego. When it's all over, the all-star game goes on, the fans cheer, the Fever shine, and Cheryl's still trying to turn back a clock that doesn't care. Because WNBA drama is like a telenovela in sneakers. Every week it levels up.
Clark was supposed to be coached by Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve. Napheesa Collier was supposed to be coached by New York Liberty head coach Sandy Brondello. they swapped coaches. Cheryl Reeve, dodged the bullet. Thank God I don't need to coach Caitlin Clark, man, I can't deal with that. I would have had to swallow so much pride. I can't do that. Fee, she probably called in the Fee, talk to Caitlin, please. I can't coach her. I can't do it. This book's about to come out. You know what they're going to be saying if I'm coaching Caitlin Clark and the book's out? Oh, God. Fee.
Lads, we got to talk about something right here. We have got to talk about something. Caitlin Clark just made the funniest All-Star selections ever. She just picked her friends. She made sure she picked no ops, as people like to call them. She made sure there were no ops on her team. If she's played with a player before, like Sonia Citron, she picked her. Gabby Williams, she picked nobody.